The first draft that I wrote and the final which I submitted to Cornell and other universities was completely different. What's really unique about me? What makes me who I am? What makes me me? A lot of quantity, they take up 100 leadership roles, but then they don't really create any impact.
Cornell is a big deal.
I actually also filed a patent for it. But once you look, you have that feeling of getting accepted to school. It's unbeatable. It's just the best feeling ever. So I'm a big fan of Coldplay.
Oh, yeah, me too. Welcome to the Inner Discovery Podcast. I'm your host, Naftarin, and today we have a really special guest with us, Swinzil Taneja. She is a graduate from Shiv Nadar School, and she's going to go to Cornell University really soon. So today's episode is for all those people who are wanting to study abroad in like the best colleges ever. Welcome, Swinzil.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And tell us a little about yourself. Like, we want to know about your hobbies and your childhood.
So hi everyone, I'm Swinzil. I've just graduated, just finished my IB exams, and I'm so excited to be here and share all my thoughts with all of you. And just a little bit about myself, I'm really interested in creative sides such as arts, or I also like to fence. I'm a fencing enthusiast. And I'm recently I've started learning cooking because I'm going off to college really soon, so I need to really do that.
Yeah.
And then that's a little bit about myself. And I really love to binge watch Netflix shows. I love to listen to music.
Same.
That's always my background for studies. I love that.
So, how are you as a student? Like,
I think honestly, right from the beginning, I was really clear that I really want to go abroad for
Right.
my undergraduate, right from 7th or 8th, because I grew up in an environment where I saw my family, like my cousin brothers, going abroad. And that kind of, I had that mindset that, I want to study abroad because I really like the idea of a balance between academics and that social life, and not just slogging through the 4 years. And so I think I was kind of the person who really had that goal in mind, and I really worked through all of those years to accomplish that goal. And so I think as a person, I was really determined, really hardworking throughout. And I think that kind of really helped me. The consistency really helped me to reach Cornell, and I'm so excited to be there.
absolutely, I'm so excited for you. Cornell is a big deal. Right?
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to ask you, so this was kind of your goal always, or did you ever think of doing something else too, like in India or maybe like anywhere else, you know?
Cornell wasn't my specific choice from the beginning. I always had that in mind that I wanted to go to the US, or like closer to grade 11 and 12. I thought of applying to UK as well. But I always had wanted to go to the US. I really love how they had that focus on, they have project teams, they have clubs, student organizations, and they have so many events that you can participate in, and the skills you gain, the experience you have at the end of the 4 years is just unmatchable. So I think that what drew me to the US education.
Yeah, it's like an entirely different journey. You're gonna be a really different person at the end of it.
Yes,
you know?
that's true.
So I also know that you're the founder of Project Comfort. So
Yes.
we want to know more about that as well. And in case like if there's any other project you want to share with us too.
Right. So Project Comfort, I found it at the beginning of grade 11. So how I came up with the idea. So as part of the IB curriculum, we have to do a CAS project, which is a service project that we need to do in order to get that diploma. But honestly, I never thought of it like as a CAS project, that there's something I need to do. I have a pet at home, and I really love animals. I used to feed my animals, the street dogs, in front of my house, and they're so loving and caring. They're such pure souls, and that would kind of drew me to find to develop an initiative like that to help these animals, because you see a lot of stray animals who are they are just hit by car and people just don't care. They're treated very, very poorly. So my goal with this project was to my aim was to give the animals a rightful place in the society, because especially the place that I live in, I see a lot of stray dogs around me, and I see them struggling, and it just makes me really sad. So that's when I discussed this with my classmate as well, and together we curated this initiative. We presented this idea. We visited a couple of NGOs, yes. So we visited Voice for Voiceless and a couple of others too. We talked to them what's the condition there, and even in those NGOs, they don't have a lot of funding to give that support to the animals that they have. So even there, the condition wasn't really great. So our main aim was to do crowdfunding so that we can donate that to the NGOs. And then secondly, also main initiative that we did was sweater making workshops. So what we did was in school, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, we asked them to bring in some recycled clothes or clothes that they don't use, the old clothes. And we curated this no-sew workshop so that it's easy for them. It's just cutting and pasting, and it's also a fun little activity. So we had a lot of participation, and they really enjoyed it. And then at the end, we had a lot of sweaters. So we decided, and it was a peak winter's time in December and Jan. And then we decided to actually donate those sweaters. And we also took a couple of 6th and 7th graders who were interested with us or to the NGO, and we donated those sweaters. And we also in the NGO that we went to, we gave them the sweater, and then the dogs were wearing it, and it was such a good feeling because they were looking so cute. And then we also feed them some dog food and all of those.
That's beautiful. That's really nice, honestly. We need more people, honestly. So, okay, for US, we all know grades are really important, right? But so are the extracurriculars. So, how did you manage to strike kind of a balance between your academics and also your extracurriculars?
Yeah, I think especially for American colleges, they look at a holistic profile, right? They look at your awards, your extracurriculars, your academics, your test scores. It's a lot. It's gonna be a really rough journey, but once you look, you have that feeling of getting accepted to school. It's unbeatable. It's just the best feeling ever. So yeah, I think academics should always be at the forefront. Because I mean that's the first parameter they kind of look at.
Right.
Even to be considered for a top school, you need to have really, really good scores.
Right.
So I think the balance, for me, time management is really important. So what I did was I created schedules. I have a Google Calendar. Like even for this summer, I have everything planned out. Like this is what I need to do this week. I have to meet up with these people. I need to do all of this to get to college. So I think that really helped me, because I know that at this time slot I need to do this subject, and this time slot I have a meeting with someone. I have this work I need to do. So I think schedules really help, and obviously a to-do list. So the way I divided it was, one, the tasks that I really, really need to do, which are urgent. I need to complete that no matter what. And then second, tasks which I can do if I have time left. So that's how I kind of planned out my day, and that really, really helped me to strike that balance.
Because time management is very tricky.
Yes.
You need to learn it early on just to kind of smoothen it out in general. So I want to know the key steps in your application process. Like where did you find yourself getting stuck, and how was the process in general? Like just walk us through it.
Right. So I think any application process, it consists of major 5 components. So you have your test scores, which is SAT or ACT, as well as your IELTS, the English speaking test. Then you have your academic record, right from grade 9th to 12th. Then you have your letters of recommendations. your ECs, extracurriculars, and awards, and then lastly your essays. So I think the part where I saw myself struggling a lot was essays.
Yeah.
I think you people, high schoolers, they don't realize that essays. You need to be really true to yourself while you're writing an essay. You don't have to present yourself as the perfect applicant to the college admission officers. You need to show them that this is you, and by the end of that essay, that Common App essay, they should know you as a person. You need to be really authentic, and you need to make yourself stand out.
Yeah.
That's what will strike them. And so I think, yeah, that was the part I struggled with. So, like, for example, my Common App essay, I the first draft that I wrote and the final which I submitted to Cornell and other universities was completely different. I had to rewrite it so many times. It was really, really annoying. But this final draft that I submitted, I really like that. So I'll just give you a gist of what the essay was about. So it was basically, what I did was, before actually, while brainstorming the ideas, I looked through all my childhood pictures and all of every journal and all of those things that I have had throughout my life, because I really want to show what shaped me as a person and what the person I am today, how I got there. I really want to show how I am. So I have this pin board in my room. It has all of the pictures right from my childhood through right now, till today. And I think, so my essay was actually centered around that. So I took 3 pictures from that, and kind of like 3 fragments of my life, 3 events which were really, really important in shaping me. It wasn't just happy memories, it was also like difficult, painful moments. And then towards the end, it showed the admission officers how I grew as a person. Like, those challenges weren't my weaknesses, but actually became my strengths. And that was kind of what I focused on throughout the essay. And I think it started off with that pinboards, how I described my pinboard, how it was covered with lights. And so that was the opening. And it was a really cool opening, because you wouldn't think to start an essay with like a pinboard. It's a really simple object, right? But it became a really beautiful essay in the end. And then I ended off with how this pinboard will always be close to my heart, and I'll pin new memories to it, and I'll carry it to wherever I'll go. And it will show me what I was and what I am right now and what I will become in the future. So that's how it was. And then a little bit about my extracurriculars. So we talked about that, Project Comfort. I think the top 2 ECs, which I think really gave me an edge. One was, I'm a national fencing athlete. So I won 2 medals on the national levels. I think that was a very good, because fencing is a very niche sport. So I think I really fell in love with the sport, and I continued it, and then I really played well. So that was one piece. And I was also nominated for a government scholarship of 50,000 rupees. So that was a big, impactful extracurricular. Then secondly, another project which is really, really close to my heart is Swachh Bins. So it's a prototype, a 3D prototype, and I did some physical testing as well of an automatic waste segregator. So it's based on, it's centered around my set field, which is computer science and technology. So it's based on deep learning, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So all of those together. And I actually also filed a patent for it, because I did work on it for 3 years, and I also presented in a lot of Shark Tanks and all of those competitions. I'm still waiting on the technical approval from the government, because it's a really long process. I filed it a year ago, so now I'm gonna work on it, hopefully in college too. Because it combines 2 of my passions, which is environment and also technology, I'm really interested in. So I think for extracurriculars, you need to make sure that you're not just doing it for college applications to show that it's just for college, and then once that is done, you're done. You're not doing it. That shouldn't be your thing. So you should like continue it because you like it, because it's what you're passionate about, and I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
So I just throughout my entire application, I just made sure that it was a cohesive story that represented a narrative that represented to the officers. And even like before starting the process, I asked myself 3 questions. So, what are my strengths, and how I'm going to highlight in the application to show what kind of person I am, and what makes me stand out, what makes me unique as a person. So I think that really helped me to guide through the entire process.
Absolutely, because I feel like a lot of people that follow script sort of thing, like this is something that we have to do just for the application. But I also agree with you. The projects that you undertake should definitely be passion driven. Absolutely, that's very major, honestly. So about the Common App essays, like what are your tips to like really stand out with essays or extracurriculars? Like we said, it should be passion driven, but what else can a person do? What is the extra mile that a person can go to?
Okay, so for essays specifically, I think you have a lot of time to work on it, right? From August till November, that's when the early applications go. So you have a good amount of time. So I think you should spend at least a month brainstorming. So that's what I did. I looked at everything, and I thought to myself, what's really unique about me? What makes me who I am? What makes me? Right? That's really important. You don't want to present like a generic essays like this is the problem I faced and this is what I gave, and it should not be a sob story. Like I think a lot of people think that presenting their struggles to admission officers can really help them to show who they are. But I don't think that's true. I think how those challenges shape you and what skills you learn from them is more important rather than just showing what your challenges are. So I think that's really important to show that aspect of growth in your essay, because I think the first draft I wrote, I think that aspect was really missing. It was a very plain essay, and I didn't really like it myself. So I reworked on it, and then eventually I had that aspect in the end, and that's what I submitted finally. So that's and definitely be authentic. That's what I've been focusing on. That's really important. And also, every part of your application, that is your awards, your extracurriculars, even your LORs that support everything that you've done, they should all come together. Like they shouldn't be like fragments of your application. They should be very cohesive, and the way you present is really what that matters. And even for extracurriculars, like for me, I think to reach a top college, you need to begin really early. I think a lot of people don't really understand the amount of time and effort that it takes to build that profile. You cannot do it overnight. Definitely not. So I started actually right from grade 8.
Wow.
So I knew that I actually planned out, in 9th I need to do this, 10th I need to do this. 11th, you have a lot of academic pressure as well. So you really can't do a lot of extracurriculars. You have to give the essay, you have to give the IELTS. So you have a lot on your plate. So you need to plan that way, that 9th and 10th, you're going to focus a lot on extracurriculars and awards and participating in as many competitions as you can. 11th is you're going to look at standardized testing and focus on your grades, definitely. And 12th, definitely, obviously grades, your predicted scores matter. And also the essays, because that's when the prompts release. So planning that out is important. And I think that's what I would say.
So what's your advice to someone who's in grade 10th or 11th and just randomly now wants to apply to Robb University? Like what can they do now?
So I think in 10th and 11th, I think like for 11th, it's like for me, I really struggled. So my school offered both the Indian curriculum, which is CBSE, as well as the international curriculum IB. So I was really struggling to choose which curriculum to take, because IB is really rigorous.
Right.
Now that I've done it, I'm so relieved it's over because it was really exhausting. It was really
Yeah.
so I think to find that perfect board for you. I'm not saying that you cannot get into a top college with
Yeah.
CBSE,
Right.
but then you need to go a little extra mile.
Right.
For you need to take like APs as well. Even I took APs, just like that. Do not need to take APs because I'm doing the IB,
Right.
and it gives me still give me credit in college.
Right.
But then, so you need to think about that. I think choosing the right curriculum is really important because I think I really took a lot of time in that decision, and I'm glad I took IB
Yeah.
because it not just helped me with the academics, like the flexibility of choosing subjects that IB offers, but also the mindset that I've developed, all of like being a reflective learner, being collaborative, the skills which are actually which are the values, the very core values of these top institutions.
Right.
So I think that's important. And then I think in 10th, I think also a lot of people think that doing a lot of internships and doing a lot, like a lot of extracurricular, like quantity, they focus a lot on quantity. They take up 100 leadership roles, but then they don't really create any impact.
Yeah.
And I think that is extremely important. I also learned it the hard way. I would do a lot of extracurriculars in 9th and 10th, but as I came into 11th, that transition from 10th to 11th,
Yeah.
I understood that impact is a lot more important than the quantity of extracurriculars. So the half of my extracurriculars which I did in 9th and 10th, I didn't really end up putting it up on the Common App because they were not that high on impact, and that's what colleges look for.
Yeah.
So I think doing the right kind of extracurriculars which you're passionate about, because if you're passionate about those, you're gonna go that extra mile to make it happen, to make a change in your community, and that was what my goal was, to use this toolkit of technology to make a change in my surroundings and environment.
Right.
So I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely, that's really important. Okay, I have a fun question for you. So, since you're interested in music and you love listening to songs, what was one song that you'd always go back to when you were facing a tough situation during all this, you know?
So, I'm a big fan of Coldplay.
Oh, yeah, me too! Me too.
So, I really loved their song Fix You. That's kind of my. I think I even mentioned it on my Princeton essay.
Oh, that's
I didn't end up submitting my application because I wasn't early. But they had the question, which soundtrack describes your life or something like that. I can't. But I mentioned that in there also. Fix You. That's my favorite song.
That's beautiful.
It's such soothing. Their voice is so soothing. It just makes everything better.
I know. Honestly, that's true. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, how are you feeling about Cornell? Excited?
I am so excited. It's a mix of emotions, obviously.
Absolutely.
Because you have to live on your own. It's also a scary world out there. But I'm also so excited to make those lifelong friendships and make those relationships with the professors. And studying in a world-class university, it's really an honor and a privilege to be there.
Absolutely. I wish you all the very best, and I hope you have the time of your life.
Thank you.
US and at Cornell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.